Hello, you've reached Apathetic Podcast at Apathetic Podcast. We're not available right now, but if you leave a message, we'll get back to you as soon as we can.
Beep.
Hi, this is your grandmother, and I was just wondering if you could bring that gigantic barrel of beans over that you're always talking about.
Garbanzo beans?
That 10-gallon barrel of garbanzo beans you're always talking about.
Oh, man. Well, here we are once again. It's me, Christian, and your friend Patrick, a.k.a. @SenseGladbag. Please go unfollow him on Twitter.com.
Not going to work. Too strong. Max followers reached.
The child army that you have is too strong.
Why do you have to? Why does it have to be a child army? You decided that it was a child army.
I did decide that it was a child army. That's because we all know that the strongest army in the world is actually just a bunch of little babies. A bunch of little teeny tiny little babies.
It's crazy that you say that because I'm at @SenteGladbag on Twitter, and I am the strongest army on Twitter. The only government-approved, city council-approved, discussed in a local government meeting Twitter account, the most popular, most followed. The papers, the Bloids, they're talking about it, dog.
You know, if you plug the podcast as much as you plug your Twitter, we might actually have more followers.
There's a problem. I could.
But you don't care, is what you're telling me.
First of all, I don't care. Second of all, mine is so much more important. It's crazy.
That's true. You are so much more important. You're the star of the show, actually. Didn't you know that?
Then you said, hey, do you want to do this podcast with me? Maybe come on once or twice, and if it works out, you can stick on it with me. Podcast you started. I was like, and then I was like, oh, yeah, I could use this as yet another propulsion tool to fucking launch my Twitter into the stratosphere, and it worked. I'm now the most followed account on Twitter. Most popular account on Twitter @SenteGladbag. Strongest army on Twitter.
0 followers.
Okay, there's something that I passed all the bullshit. I'm sure as you heard then, one of our first episodes, I think it was before we even did a video, I talked about the fact that I make so many noises just sitting. Fat problem for sure, but I'm not only breathing like a very tired, exhausted state fair pig, but I'm also making a lot of sometimes you'll just hear me, my throat will be okay.
No, my favorite are your pre-speaking swallowing, so you'll lean into the microphone, get real close, and make sure you're right up in there, and you'll go,
ew, hold on. Ew.
I like those. You do those a lot. I used to try to edit those out in the video, and
no point.
Yeah, it's just, I have to accept you for you. You know what I mean,
dude? The thing is, I'm gonna have to kind of be on that Tazon day from now on because I couldn't even maybe other people can, but our last one that just came out. Well, we have another one that's coming up soon, but the video or the first of the new era of the podcast that we just released, I couldn't even focus on it because I can only hear the bodily noises that I'm making loudly the whole time. So from now on, what does he say? I lean away from the mic to...
Lean away from the mic to breathe, yeah. Chocolate rain.
So I'll be follow @SenteGladbag on Twitter. And then I'll be right back.
Chocolate rain.
The baby board will die before the sun.
That's old YouTube right there, dog.
Well, we're just old people.
We are old people.
Anyway, man, what the fuck's been going on? I guess since the last week I've seen you, we've been back to semi-regularly doing this, so we're pretty filled in. But tell the people what's
Nothing has been going on. I did a lot of chores yesterday. I built a grill. I set up a grill that was entertaining. I did some cleaning. That's always fun,
dude. Okay, so you built a grill, right?
Yes.
We do, this podcast is all about manly shit. No women allowed, dude. No, fuck no. We're all about men. We sit on a dead animal carcass around a fire and talk about just titties or something. And then we build a grill. I call up, hey, you want to build a grill? Because I did something manly as shit this week too, and I changed a water pump on my neighbor's car. And dude, did you hear me just do it?
Yeah, you just did it.
I have such a complex now. Because... there was something wrong with their car, and they called me as if I'm a mechanic on anything other than YouTube. And this is now a mechanic. We discuss cars.
This is a car talk.
Today on Pathetic Podcast. Today on Pathetic Podcast Car Talk. We're gonna talk. No, but I want to give actually before I go into this process, I wanted to give a quick shout out to all of the YouTube mechanics that are filming how to fix stuff with one hand with like their iPhone 4 in 2019 because you guys have saved me. I need to make a list of them and shout them out because there's
But it's always like a channel where they have one video, and it's the one video that you need to figure out how to fix the thing.
Because they were probably like, dude, I'm so fucking sick of being asked how to do this, and I'm just going to send this to everybody. Because, dude, they really have helped. I fixed and I like to say this name because it makes me sound like I know shit about cars. I replaced, this is a long time ago,
Yeah.
a coolant bypass solenoid valve. So that way I can be like, oh, it looks like that's just the coolant bypass solenoid valve. We'll just get that swapped out for you. Let's top off the fluids. Well,
You are manly. I did do that one time. I had to fix a sensor on the back of it. Was like, so I drive a Nissan, and I guess in the Nissans in the year that I have my vehicle, there's like this sensor that goes out regularly, and if it goes out, it'll shut your engine down while you're driving. And it's on the back part of the engine block. It's like a $7 piece.
I know
It's a
exactly
little
what you're talking
plastic
about, yeah.
piece, but if it goes out, it'll shut your whole fucking shit down. So I had to fix that, and it was the most difficult shit I've ever had to do in my entire life.
there's 3 different. So I know exactly the part you're talking about because I bought it thinking that was the right part. Because, well, Ford has a similar part, but there was, and my wife drives a Ford, but there was like a 2 liter, a 2.5, and a 1.6. The other two have the easy part that, well, not easy to get to, but you know, it's just that little part. The one that my wife happens to have was that $50 fucking valve that I had to just, because I can't just throw $1,000 at a mechanic at any point.
Right.
So my neighbor, back to what I was getting at, we're doing manly things on this channel. We're grilling meats. We're building grills. We're building houses. We're taking care of, we're taking care of fixing the drywall.
Oh yeah, that's another thing I did. I fixed a hole in the wall.
Dude, we're literally doing such adult men. I'm proud of us.
We grunt.
And I fixed the water pump, and it's funny because I know just as much about cars as the lady that lives next door to me, but she didn't know anything about it in her mind because I fixed Whitney's car frantically and frighteningly off YouTube. She called me, and so I was like, fuck. So I was like, when she got it towed, the guy was like, oh, I think it's just the water pump. And I was like, dude, I bet I can fix that. And that was the riskiest fix I've ever done on a car. And dude, I felt like after I was like, anybody want me to build him a car? But like, I'm just going to start popping people's engine and being like, well, it'll cost you, but that's it looks like it's either the water pump or the coolant bypass solenoid valve. Either one, we'll run you about, and I'll just know those specific parts. So I'm going to diagnose those specific parts no matter what. So how it relates is the valve had the same sensor in it, so I had to buy that.
My favorite manly part of the manly grill building yesterday, though, was I was following the directions, and on a couple of parts it said have 2 people, and I was just like, I can do it. I can do it. It's all me. I got it.
Did you need 2 people? Honestly?
No, not at all.
Not at all, dude. Manly
Not
channel.
at all. No, I mean, that type of shit, dude, it's easy. It's like easy to do, but it's also at the same time so fucking it took me 2.5 hours to put this fucking grill together because they had so many tiny ass screws and little parts that you had to connect together and shit. That's so fucking
with
frustrating.
those type of things, sometimes you're having to hold up one part and another part while screwing in another part. But you know what?
Yeah.
I mean, fellas, is it gay to have 2 people fixing a grill together?
Canceled.
Yeah, anyway, so that's not much has changed. We've done our typical adult things.
Ooh, that was a good one. That was a good pop, and you didn't have it in frame.
You know, I feel bad because you know what? I don't feel bad. If you haven't endorsed me at this point, Topo Chico, we have like 36 subscribers? Dude.
38.
If 38 people all bought us, dude, make the calculations that you can make a few dollars there, Topo. Tropical Chico. I'm not even saying your real name. I'm waiting for my endorsement.
Waiting for the endorsement.
But yeah. Just did some manly things. You fix a car. You built a grill. I think.
But I also dusted and vacuumed, so.
You what?
I dusted and vacuumed the house.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Which was also manly as fuck, TBH.
Just in a sleeveless Metallica shirt, just scrubbing the shit out of stuff. Like, yeah. Well, the one thing I did do this week is I went to a wedding.
It's so bad.
Which you enjoyed thoroughly, I'm sure.
Okay, here's the thing. A lot of my friends were there, so it was great to see them. It was 2 dear friends of mine getting married. The wedding was beautiful. The venue was beautiful. The weather was nice. Everything was perfect. But I guess this is a point that I come on a lot. I have told you this, not out of like sucking you off as my friend, but I'm saying that I legitimately had a good time at your wedding because it was 100% our friends drinking together.
Yeah, it was a good time.
But
For the most part.
For the most part, but like most of the time going to weddings, even, especially if you're not involved in them, so you have no stake in it. Most people don't actually want to be at a wedding. It's like a formality that you have to be at. It's like just like, oh, do you want to go to your, I don't know, like your niece's piano recital? And you're like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, of course I do. Nobody actually, I don't know what the science is behind that, but maybe I just don't have that part in me that's built in to just be excited about that.
Well, you've also never had to throw a wedding. You got out of it by pulling some bullshit.
Nah, dude, I just have a cool ass wife,
motherfucker.
Cool ass wife that I was.
Dude, throwing a wedding is
so. Hannah, you're very cool. It didn't mean it seemed that way. Hannah, very cool.
Yeah, I love you, babe. But dude, throwing a wedding is awful. It's so stressful. I mean, she'll admit like it's just such a fucking headache. You got to like make everybody happy and like, you know, it's just all a bunch of crock of shit. When at the end of the day, you're just really signing a piece of paper saying that I'm never going to leave you.
I was talking to someone about like the things we're going to do because I was talking to, like the best man or something, and I was like, the funny part is getting a bunch of dudes to pay for a suit they don't want to pay for, and as a result, that you're like. Your groomsmen, by the end of it, just turned into throw some cards on the ground and point at names, and that's who's going to be in it.
Well, dude, because I had to have so many. Like, my wife's got a big family, first of all, and she has she had a decent amount of friends, and like, so she had 9 people, and she wanted me to have 9 people too. So I was like, damn, I gotta find 9 friends. How do I find 9 people? My circle's so fucking small that I was just like, all right. Let's go down the list of people.
Dude, it came out great though. Like we had a perfect set of people. Oh, dude, Carell was even a groomsman who was the drummer in our band Township, a good friend of ours.
Shout out Carell, love you, boy.
Shout out Carell. He likes to publicly call me out for forgetting to reply to him like I do to everybody. And so like I'll tweet something and he'll be like, well, what about last Tuesday at 8:48 a.m. when I sent you a text message and I never heard back? Are you too cool to talk back to me? And I'm like, fuck, I'm sorry. And then we'll go get Browns when he comes into town or something.
I miss you, Carell. Come back.
Is it just me being a prick that is like any special occasion type of event like that? And what else am I going to do? Sit my ass at home? No, maybe it's part of the chaotic life thing we're talking about with me, where it's like planned or not, I don't want to go to events, even if they're like milestone events you have to be at. I just don't want to go. And I feel like that when I'm looking at the mass audience, nobody really wants to be there. They want to be there for the moral support, but they don't actually want to be there.
I don't want to go to things that I want to go to. I'm the most homebody motherfucker in the entire world. Like, my happy weekend is literally me sitting in front of a TV with maybe like a computer or like my Switch and just fucking chilling.
You fucking nerd.
Like that's all I want to do all fucking weekend, any weekend. But then, like, you know, I'll have somebody be like, oh, we need to go see your father, or we need to go, you know, we need to see some family, or like, you know, we'll have an event happening, or like there's a show that I have to go to, or like, dude, even my hockey games, I love playing hockey, but like when that time comes when it's like, all right, you got to get ready to go to hockey, I'm like, fuck.
I think everybody has that collective like there's that 3 week ahead of time space. You're like, hell yeah, let's go get lunch. And then when it comes to the day, it's like, fuck, I don't want to go. It does, depending on the closeness factor, it is different because like, dude, if you want to go do something, I'm not like, fuck, we have to go do this. I'm like, okay, cool. We're just chilling. Like there's no expectation there. That's different. I actually have very few friends like that. So that's why this podcast works out. But,
the fuck is that?
That was a solid mouth.
God, did I just swallow a Dyson vacuum?
It sounded like a tooth going down or something.
Hey, what's up? Today we're swallowing our own teeth. But okay, before
dude, have you ever had dreams where you swallow your teeth?
Yes, and I've also we can talk about this.
We were going off on a fucking tangent.
You know what? Fuck the whole wedding thing. None of y'all really want to be there. And the final thing I'll say is if everybody wanted to be there, they wouldn't serve alcohol as a social lubricant at these events.
Agreed.
Anyway, so into teeth dreams. Let's call this episode, you don't want to call this episode Teeth Dreams?
Okay.
I've had a couple different types of dreams. One is where I've swallowed my own teeth, which I never had those until Whitney told me she was having those, or dreams about swallowing her own tongue somehow.
Yeah.
The other one is my teeth breaking all the time, like having
I've had
brittle
those
teeth.
too, yeah.
And the third one comes from, I think it was a tweet that I saw that was like, what if your teeth are always flaccid and only got hard when you were hungry? And I was like, fuck, dude.
That's so dumb.
Congratulations, everybody listening, all 38 of you. You're going to now have a dream about your flaccid fucking teeth.
Dude, but like, I would have those like teeth falling out dreams, and like, I'm the type of motherfucker that I'll go Google what dreams mean. And shit.
No.
So like, I can't remember what it was off the top of my head, but like, teeth falling out is supposedly like a very common type of dream that means some type of shit. It's like the same thing as like falling or whatever. You know, like when you have a dream when you're falling, it's supposed to mean like your life's out of control or some shit like that. Like, apparently, teeth falling out is one of those things.
Sometimes I have these really crazy abstract fever dream-esque dreams, and then Whitney, she never has those. She's like, oh yeah, last night I had a dream that I was having dinner and then went to bed. She's like, I
mean, I've had those too, but yeah, dude, my dreams, like, if they're not completely horrifying without me being horrified, that's one thing I've noticed in some of my dreams lately is the situation that's going on is just absolutely terrifying. Like, people are dying, it's a fucking horrible situation, but I'm just sitting there like, huh? Okay.
Like, well, I'll wake up from those and be still like freaked out. Like, I've had those ones like that where it's so vivid that I mean, everybody has this. It's not a special thing, but like for like a day, I'll be like in kind of this gray scale. Like,
you just get completely drained by something that did not happen at all. It's like exercising in your dream, and you just wake up and you're like, fuck, man, I'm exhausted. I'm so sore.
Have you ever gotten in a dream fight where you're like, you know what, fuck this guy, and you're just gonna fight it out. You're gonna beat him up,
dude, and then you can't punch.
Dude, the punches are so weak, and I'm like, dude, why is it that the one time I decided, you know what, yeah, here we go, I'm gonna get in a fight, and I just have softy little cutesy little baby, a cutie boy, cutie pie punches. It's not fair.
But I've had both though. I've had dreams like that where like when I'll like throw a punch and nothing happens, and then I'll have dreams where like I'm just, for some reason, I'm just like fucking Thanos or some shit. I'm like beating the shit out of people.
I never get those. I just have dream analysts that watch the podcast. Let us know what this means. I want us to both do exercises in lucid dreaming, and I want us to meet up in our lucid dream and just throw down and with softy boy punches.
I still see your shadows in my room.
Oh, dude, rest in peace. I also have yet to have a dream where I have soccer boppers or sock and boppers.
Sock and boppers? Hell yeah.
They are more fun than a pillow fight.
That is very true. Are we reverting back in the last episode where we talk about our childhoods?
Dude, Fox Kids had way better commercials, dude. Because Kids WB, they didn't promote the violent toys. Dude, Fox Kids would be like action figures smashing through a bunch of cubes that don't even come with the toy.
Dude, I miss those type of commercials, dude. The old like 90s action figure commercials were the shit.
I watched there was some cartoon that was on. There was some cartoon that was on the other day, and it was I realized that I've just been watching different programming because, weirdly enough, a lot of those commercials still exist.
Oh yeah, but I don't have cable. I haven't had regular TV in so long. Not since we lived with our other roommate from when we lived together.
Yeah. Well, dude, are you living the Fire Stick lifestyle?
Yeah, dude, like
absolutely.
Just Fire Stick, and then Disney Plus and Netflix and all that bullshit.
I wish that we were further into the new season of Altered Carbon because I really don't.
I got through the first episode. I like it. I mean, it's Altered Carbon's one of those shows that you got to like watch a couple episodes to get into, and I think they're doing that again with this season, where you kind of got to watch a few episodes to like get acclimated to it, because like the whole thing is like people are like switching bodies and stuff. So I feel like it's really jarring when the main character like switches bodies and it's supposed to be the same person, but it's a completely different person.
Like they call it sleeve sickness, and he always needs a mirror to look at himself or whatever.
Right. Like it's very jarring, like switching back and forth, and if you're not used to it, like fortunately I rewatched the first season not too long ago, so I'm more used to like watching the same person in different forms do stuff. But like when it's like you're watching it and then there's like a lady who's doing something, but that's the same person as this other dude that you've been watching for 4 episodes.
It requires you to do a lot of figuring things out too, which is I'm not saying it's complicated to understand, but they don't do a lot of what I like to do with my simple mind, which is this is that. They do a lot of like, oh, that's Takashi or whatever his name is. Takashi 6ix9ine.
Takashi 6ix9ine Kovacs.
Got a bit of a niche joke for people that haven't watched a random Netflix show.
It's a good show though, man. I like the concept, like the whole figure out immortality shit and stuff like that. They're leaning more into the whole that's what I can tell from watching the first episode. They're leaning a lot more into the whole like revolutionary side of things, where like there's like a new version of the uprising and shit, and like
per the story of every sequel.
Yeah, it's they're leaning way more into like the whole governmental shit instead of focusing really just on the main character.
You kind of have to.
Well, and he's kind of on that like one track thing where he's got one thing that he's trying to do now, and I'm not going to spoil the first season if you haven't watched it, but he's got kind of like one mission that he's trying to accomplish. So it's not quite as like building up the characters, like even the side characters. There's really only like 1 or 2 like side characters, as opposed to season 1 there was a lady cop and her partner, and then there was the tech dude and
there was 2 different sides. There was the whole police side of things. There was like the
rich people,
the meth. They call them meths.
Yeah, they call them meths for what is it, Methuselah or whatever.
Shouts out Methuselah, shouts out Mesopotamia, shouts out Methodism, shouts out mercantilism, shouts out merchandise. Oh, I got found something. Got a merchandise problem.
You got a merchandise problem.
I'm getting let down a lot this week.
Isn't that your entire life, though?
I started pointing out to Whitney the concept. And by the way, I know that this is all in my head and it's me feeling sorry for myself. I'm 100% aware of that.
Is it all in your head? You're thinking about it over and over again?
Because it's all in my head. Dude, never while I'm talking, ever plug a Tim McGraw Nelly crossover ever again.
I knew that would get you.
Dude, the podcast was going super good, and then he just kept talking about that Nelly and Tim McGraw song. Oh, anyway. So, does it sound... If you order something... And okay, maybe I'm spoiled because I work for a company that we ship everything day of the order, if we can, because we don't have to manufacture it upon order. We have the things that we have.
Right.
We can get it to somebody... Within 2 or 3 days. Within, like, domestically, usually we can get it to them within 2 or 3 business days. So say you order something that you need in a week and a half and you just go standard shipping. Would you typically bet on that showing up on time?
Generally speaking, but we're also Amazon
spoiled by Amazon.
Yeah, we're all fucked up by Amazon because we have especially us, because we have a huge we have 2 big distribution centers right here.
Yeah, so we get our stuff day of.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm not expecting that. I remember there was one time that I ordered a poster, like a record store poster on eBay, and it was in 2006. Mm-hmm. It took 6 weeks to get here, and I didn't even think about it. I was like, cool, it's here. And so I get that we are very spoiled by the age of Amazon, but you
just need to go on AliExpress more often,
dude. If I can get a knockoff something from China, like faster.
Well, maybe not right now. You can't get anything from AliExpress.
Hey,
but
shouts out coronavirus. Shouts out pepperoni and pepperoni.
Pepperoni, like the dog treat.
Yeah, dude. Shouts, dude. Was I going to make a pepperoni virus joke? Yes. But have I already said it, even though I hinted at it as if I wasn't going to say it? Yes. But yep, pepperoni virus kind of sounds like corona, which kind of sounds like coroni, which is stupid.
That's how you got there.
So I was trying to figure out, though, if I was being a little, not a little bitch, because I didn't like throw a fit about it, but I was like, oh, that's kind of funny, because I ordered a shirt that I originally needed for the wedding I went to that I, love them, but I don't ever want to go to a wedding, but I was happy to be there.
Right.
Disclaimers. I ordered it like 2 weeks ago, and they were like, yeah, it'll be there Thursday of this past week. And I was like, cool, that's fine. And they're like, okay, it'll be there Friday. And I was like, oh, well, the wedding's Saturday, but we'll see how it happens. And they're like, okay, it'll be there Tuesday the next week. And I'm just like, like for domestic shipping on an order that realistically could go out. And I know how fast it can go out because I work for a very small group of people that distribute a ton of stuff, and we still make it happen.
Well, dude, even when we were doing fleet shipping at the Drake place, like we were going out of an actual like fleet shipping place, and we could still expect that stuff to get to wherever it was going in X amount of days. You know,
I can understand if it was like made to order, like if it was we're going to manufacture what you've ordered on the day you buy it, and then so you need a couple weeks. But I was just like, dude, for a shirt, and I'm not talking about the band shirt. That's a different thing. This was for just like a nice collared shirt. I got a tipped peak shirt, shouts out Atticus style, where it had like the little lines on the collar, dude. And I want to look like a punk dad that wears fedoras unironically and probably has a tattoo of like an engine part on his arm somewhere. You know the type. They look like Adam Willard, which I love Adam Willard, but. So I was like, I couldn't tell. Like, I'm in a weird space where I'm not going to Karen them. I'm just going to send it back, you know what I mean? Because I don't need the shirt anymore. But I was just like, that seemed crazy to me. And I know I'm spoiled by Amazon. And then, like, I was also wondering the other day, I ordered a Frozen Soul, shouts out Frozen Soul shirt.
Your fucking mouth noises are on point today, dude.
It sucks so bad that the day that I talk about them, they're all on recording.
Crazy,
dude. There's a small rodent living in my body, and that's the only plausible explanation. Only plausible explanation.
I'm so glad that this is the episode we decided to talk about your fucking mouth noises.
Dude, okay. You know what? From now on, everything I do is going to be healthy. We're gonna end up Jesus fucking crap.
I mean, it couldn't possibly be the fact that you don't eat anything, but you drink 4 cups of coffee and 2 topos while we're doing this.
I mean, that is true. It's weird that I'm such a fat individual because I really I don't drink sodas that much. I pretty much drink like dark coffee, Topo Chicos, and usually, I know this sounds nuts, but I'll eat like 1 meal a day. Maybe that's why my metabolism's all fucked up or something.
Yeah, I eat twice a day, and I'm still a fat bitch.
Maybe it's because we work a desk job. That's probably part of it.
Dude, oh my God, dude. I started working out this past week. Oh, that was another thing that happened this past week. I started working out again.
Manly as fuck.
Dude, it is horrible getting back into exercising when you haven't exercised in a long time.
Dude,
it's
I remember
the fucking worst.
When you and I, the first time we moved in, when we got the cable house, you and I were like, dude, we're gonna get in shape. Let's do this. And for like 2 days, we were like doing sprints and like lifting weights.
No way, bitch! I was exercising every day. You stopped,
dude. No, I was like,
you stopped.
What's fucked up is I wasn't even fat then, and I was still just like, again.
Yeah, I remember because we had so it was this house that we lived in. It was like a 3-bedroom house with a shed in the back, and the shed in the backyard was like our exercise room at the time.
It just had like a shitty weight set in there.
Yeah, and so like whenever Pat first moved in, because like I moved in first and then Pat moved in, and like God, I can't even remember the situation, like how it came. I think it was because you were freshly single at the time.
Yeah. And
you were like, all right, I'm going to get back in shape, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, all right, cool. We'll do the workouts that I've been doing for a while. And like, I think we did them like 1 or 2 days. And you were just like, no, I'm not doing this shit anymore.
But also at the same time, it made no sense that we felt the need to do that because we were working at Quest, which was a literal like hardcore, like you were lifting weights and doing cardio for 18 hours at a time. So it's like we didn't even need to do that. And looking at pictures of us back then, we were skinny as fuck.
Right.
It's funny though because like maybe this is just me starting to age because you know the 30s approaching. You know, I'm 28. I'll be 29 this year, and like
we act like we're so fucking old. We're still
but like it's still like it shows it shit starts to slow down, man. Like I remember if I slightly changed my diet for like a week, I dropped like 10 pounds, and now it's like I won't eat bad. I won't even I don't drink any sodas or anything, and I'll still somehow just
be a fat
for like
motherfucker.
A very long time be a fat motherfucker. So even though I've been trying to like walk more and be more active and be on my feet more and everything, so it does get harder. But here pretty soon I'm gonna be the skinniest person you've ever seen on a podcast.
No, we need to get you swole as shit, dude. I want to see like huge buff Pat with like crazy tattoos all over the place.
Okay,
like,
so
tribals.
Let me scale something real quick. So right now, fat and friendly big guy.
Yeah.
Okay. You can't. Okay, so lately I shaved my head recently. We're going to talk about this. Hang on. So we're going to take the nice friendly glasses off. So as you see now, I'm bald and there's no glasses. For those of you that, there's two things. If you can't tell and you don't know me in person, I'm a very fucking large individual. Second of all, although I'm friendly, I have a resting bitch face. Ready?
Damn, dude, it's scary as shit.
Scary as shit. So
You look like a mad ass light bulb, dude.
Dude, it doesn't help that I'm pale as fuck. But like, imagine just this part with the beard, resting bitch face, bald. If I got just fucking yoked and I walked in and I angry and I just sat down, like,
Oh, he's getting up. Damn, dude, that's terrifying.
would you be like, this guy's about to lay down some whip ass?
That was scary just in and of itself right there.
Thank you, dude. I'm so scary sometimes.
You're terrifying.
Oh, hold on. Fuck.
Watch your profanity.
Speaking of which, this is actually a good discussion point. I want to also apologize that today I've got a lot of random shit on my mind, so thank you for letting me be.
This is a very sporadic episode. I hope you enjoy it.
We've had many of these before though, so I don't feel that bad because I'm not doing this for anybody. Oh God, did I just lose it?
You did lose it.
Oh,
you mouthed
okay.
noise and then you lost it.
So for the second time, I've been told that, at least on Twitter, that I'm very wholesome. Which is funny because maybe it's because I'm not a hateful prick by default, but I've never thought of myself in the light of wholesome.
You're a little fucking sweetheart.
No, I'm a nice person for sure, but maybe
that translates into being wholesome.
So what I've been trying to do lately is I've been trying to tweet more flaming skeletons. I've been trying to say more. I've been trying to be like, look how much I cuss. I'm getting, but it's weird because like there was somebody like. There was a bit where, and this is probably horrible because Olin is a child, but we kept pushing the fact that Olin is incredibly funny and extremely hot was the thing. So anytime anyone talks shit to Olin, we're like, oh, that's funny because he's hilarious and hot. And so someone I was at a show the other day, a cab show, and someone was like, I can't be mean to you about this because you're too wholesome. And I was like, that's the second time I've heard that. And it's funny because it's like, I'm trying to figure out where.
Here's the thing. I think this is what they mean, right? When I look at you, when you walk into a room and I look at you, my first inclination is to give you a hug. You're a huggable motherfucker.
But like, I am a nice person, huggable guy. A lot of people I can tell. This isn't like an ego stroke at all. I can tell that a lot of people are kind of, because I'm a very large person, I can sense that sometimes people are a little bit freaked out by my presence, and sometimes they'll looking, even people that I like kind of know, sometimes will just be kind of eyeballing me and not saying anything, and it's like, I don't want to bother them, but I don't know, it's weird, but I've never. And it's not that, like, I'm out robbing banks every now and anything. I'm literally so lame. I just sit at home and hang out with maybe that's it. I just hang out with my wife and I live a chill life. Maybe I'm past all of my hooliganism. Yeah. Maybe I'm sober now.
Here's what it is. You are the Mr. Rogers of the hardcore and hardcore adjacent group that we're a part of.
Dude, do not. Okay. Dude, listen, man. Do you see how, dude, wait till you see how much I cuss, bro.
Next time we go to a show, I'm going to make you wear a fucking cardigan.
Nah, dude, next time we go to a show, I'm going to spike my hair. We'll have to get a wig.
No, here's what we're going to do, right? We're going to get...
There it is.
That was a good one. So next time we go to a show, whatever show it may be, we're going to get the vocalist of whatever band is on at the moment to give Pat the mic so he can be like, what's up, y'all? It's a beautiful day in the motherfucking neighborhood.
No, dude. But you can't be Mr. Rogers and say motherfucking neighborhood. You can't.
But you're that version of Mr. Rogers. That's why it works.
But yeah, I actually do badly before people. I mean, they're already tired of it. Let's get real. And even though one of my rules is don't beat the fuck out of old bits, beating the fuck out of this. But at one point, I do want at least one band to have a part that's their hardcore band song featuring at Scented Gladbag on Twitter. Just give me a part. Give me like a 10-second part.
Well, then we should just make a band, and every song is featuring at Scented Gladbag on Twitter.
You know, that'd be great if I could write good music. There's a reason I'm not.
We don't have to write good music.
Yeah, you're right.
We just have to write music.
Do you want to hire ghostwriting hardcore
ghostwriter?
Hardcore ghost. I mean, I have been interacting with Joseph H. Core a lot on Twitter lately.
Dude, that's another thing. Your interactions with Joe Hardcore are the most wholesome shit in and of itself, and you're fucking talking to Joe Hardcore, and that shit's cute as hell.
Dude, you know what? Like, someone that I used to goof about, like, he's very cool about the jokes on him, and
That's because the jokes aren't jokes on him; they're just jokes.
Well, also, I mean, there's someone that has like the FSU reputation and everything, and he has done a lot of good. He even for our scene, bringing truth out there and everything.
Right.
But he takes a lot of me, and I mean, Olin does it too, and Olin will keep it going. But there's a lot of like he'll misspell something in a tweet, and I'll tweet his typo as a response to him, just stuff like that. Or like there was one time that you know how there's the joke of like saying Joe Mama, or we talked about this I think on Jimbo's podcast.
We've talked about it before, for sure.
I got him to say Carl Who so that I could say Carl's Bad Caverns instead of like Joe Mama. And then the other day there was another one where we said Jason, and we were like, if you don't know which Jason it is, you can say Jason Who, and he's like, dude, we've been here before. And then I just replied, Jason's Deli, and then Jason's Deli saw it, and Jason's Deli replied, and then I tried to get, okay, so let me hit you with the timeline. So I tried to get Joe Hardcore to say Carl Who so that I could say Carl's Bad Caverns, much similar to the Joe Who, Joe Mama joke, but it was just stupid. So Carl's Bad Cavern his ass, and then later on, I tried to get him to say Jason Who, and he's like, he's basically replying, I know what this is, I'm not doing it. So then I just still replied Jason's Deli. The official Jason's Deli account responds like, hey, and then I started trying to get Jason's Deli to say Carl Who.
Here's the thing. That's one of those situations where like Pat makes a fucking stupid Twitter joke and I have to shake my head like while I'm laughing because I'm so disappointed in myself for being like hysterically laughing at this fucking Twitter,
dude, and
this Twitter post.
I talk about the concept of the nose exhale laugh all the time, but I'm at work, and the thing is, I understand that right now I'm calling myself funny, I'm not trying to be full of utter head assery, but this is an impression of me at my computer at work typing. I'm just typing. Trying to keep it short. Not even smiling. Because it would have been really not funny if Jason's Deli hadn't responded, and then
that was the clincher. Like I was at home when that was happening, and I started hysterically laughing when Jason's Deli replied. I was like on the floor,
no, Jason's no,
dying laughing.
So then I tried to Carl's Bad Cavern Jason's Deli, and Jason's Deli said, I feel like this is a trap, and I said, no, it's not. There's nothing wrong with asking Carl Who, and then they just stopped replying because they were like, you know what, I'm staying very far away from something I should have read. Like if they had read the context, they would have been like, what the fuck is going on? But instead they were like, oh, a Jason's Deli fan. Dude, if I had Carl's Bad Cavern Jason's Deli, that would have been the funniest shit to me.
Oh, I would have died. I would have legitimately not been alive from not breathing from laughing so hard.
Jason's Deli be like, Carl Who? And then I'm like, Carl's Bad Caverns.
Only we find that shit funny, dude.
I'm very glad that I found someone who's simultaneously disappointed father while also encouraging my shitty fucking because for some weird reason you get it. You must have multiple personality disorder because you somehow get it whilst being disappointed in me.
Yeah, no, it's well, I mean, no, I feel like that fits the disappointed parent because the disappointed parent they fold their arms and they shake their heads, but they're still laughing at the joke that the child has made.
It's like when your son gets into a fight at school, but you have to ground him. Like you and the other parent have to ground your son for getting in a fight, but then later on you're like, dude, you beat his ass. That's badass, dude.
Exactly. I am disappointed in you, though. You fucking God. You're just. Why do you do these things to me?
We we briefly, oh man, lots of belches, lots
So
of burps
many
and belches.
mouth noises and belches today.
I'd like to say in like the 40 minutes this has been going, I'm already 2 coffees and 2 topo, a topo and a half in.
Oh, I thought you had 3 coffees this morning.
No, I just had the coffee I brought and then the coffee I brewed up here. And
No, I
then,
thought that was your third one.
yeah, no, I mean, it'll happen. But speaking of Twitter, so back again, because on this podcast we can talk about Fake Links World, because most people are probably embarrassed by me. And I mean, most people and this isn't just about, Jimbo doesn't like me talking too much about Fake Links World on his podcast, and I don't blame him because it's a fucking shit show, and I play
It's a very niche meme.
Yeah, and unfortunately, our demographic is probably becoming pretty niche because of me, and I apologize. So that's not his fault, but we had like a set of rules, and we made one video about it where I just said the corrosion bio, but I put out a new one today that you edited, and you have a talent for making me laugh at something that I didn't think was funny when I was saying it. So
The only thing that I liked about that was a good one. The only one that I liked specifically about that video was you kept fucking up, like saying something, so I would keep the fuck up parts and get rid of your corrections. That's what made me feel good about that
fucked
video.
up as fuck, dude. Fucked the fuck up as fuck is that you as the editor. And the thing is, I think it's funny, so whatever. But like, you'll cut out me correcting myself, and then you'll stitch together my fuck ups into one consistent. Like, you do a really good job at like doing surgery to make me seem like the dumbest fuck on the planet, and it makes it so much better because you get like halfway through the video, and to us it's funny because we know me, but like if you're watching that, you'd be like, I don't know what he's talking about anymore. Like if you're just watching.
Well, see, and that's why if you're a watcher or a listener exclusively of the podcast, you need to watch and listen, because the audio is the full audio with all the corrections, and the video is almost always cut together with his fuck-ups mashed into each other.
They come out perfect. For the record, again, credit to him. He does all the editing and all the magic and all the stuff that makes it great. And
it wouldn't work without the talent, baby.
That's right, baby. We're a team here. But I feel like I don't give, and especially when I post clips from the podcast, I feel like I haven't been giving you enough credit. So I'm trying to do that more because you've been kicking ass at this.
It's all me. I do all the work. Everything is me.
We did, however, try to. We've been upping our thumbnail. Dude, we've been upgrading the fuck out of everything here. Fancy camera so you can see my pores, and 420 69 HD.
Updated the logo.
DLP, updated the logo. Animated wild background. Thumbnails now. His idea, bodies are bigger than we're in it. I put the stroke on it so we can fit the YouTube thing. We got the neon colors. We got the buzzwords and the logos. We got the big bodies that are outlined. We got the better camera. We're getting there, baby boy.
Yeah, if you're trying to start a YouTube channel, the secret to thumbnails is big ass bodies.
Big ass bodies, usually with like a few pixel stroke of white around the body.
That's the ticket. That's the money maker right there.
Colors, and if you're I don't know, like you have to have like a big arrow pointing to like a hamburger that's like hamburger with like a question mark. Because I don't think, do they do the thing anymore that's like emotional and like in parentheses and shit, or is that a thing of the past?
That's definitely a thing of the past.
Dude, not with the trends, I guess. Thought I was.
Wow, dude, you fucked up, man.
God, there was something else. Oh, fuck. We were going into something and then I got distracted.
Nah, dude, fuck that. We don't need real topics.
I think that there are times that we have real topics and we have a very consistent, good conversation. And then there's times that we have real topics and we don't touch any of them at all.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah, I think we had planned something to talk about today, but I feel like we should not talk about whatever it was we planned to talk about, because this is much better in my opinion.
well, there's times that like I'll write stuff down throughout the week that I think is really funny then, and then I'll read it the morning of us doing this, because typically I come over here early-ish in the morning, we knock this stuff out, and like I'll be like, that's either not going to make any sense, doesn't make any sense to me. Like I'll have something that's like gerbil wheel, and I'll be like, I don't remember what I was thinking 4 weeks ago about it. Just
you'll take like a very minor note about something you're thinking about and be like, oh yeah, that'll be funny, and then you don't fucking remember what it was.
Either I don't remember what it was, or it'll be like 2 a.m. when I find it funny, and then I won't find it funny later on.
That's the curse, man. This is the curse of being a funny fella.
But I think some of the things that'll help it too is I think that I mean, obviously we won't be relying on it completely, but I think we're going to start bringing back guests slowly. Getting some friends, and outside of music. You and I need to put together some type of calendar where people can like book themselves on it, because I've been getting asked a lot.
We've said that 100 times, but we've never done
Since
it.
like April, we've been saying that. I also thought we had way more episodes than we did.
This is like 29 right now that we're doing at the moment.
Maybe it's because for like 3 months we did one episode.
Yeah, I think that's what it was, because we're coming up on our year.
Yeah, in April.
Yeah, April.
Well, you started this, I think, in what? Like, you started it by yourself, and then we did just audio for a while after that, and then...
Yeah, so the just audio started April, like, 7th, I think. It was like the second week of April, because we had the first 3 episodes were weekly, and then I went to Japan, which was the first week of May.
We need
So
to
that
get
would
Tyler
make
back
sense.
on here. Tyler's never done it on video with us, I don't think.
No, he hasn't. So, yeah, we definitely need to get Tyler
Dude, was the
back on here.
Japan episode before we were doing video?
Yeah, we didn't start doing video until episode 10.
Jesus. That's right, because we had several that were just audio.
Yeah, we had 10 or 9 that were just audio.
Is the 90-90 episode still getting numbers?
I haven't even checked it. I have no idea. I doubt it. I think the only one that gets numbers anymore is the one with Bob.
Dude, Bob, thank you so much for letting me leverage your name for
100 views on YouTube.
our friendship now means nothing. We don't like each other anymore at all. The podcast ruined it. We don't talk. We hate each other. Huge feud between us two, but at least I was able to leverage that for like 2 or 3 views.
This episode is just mouth noises. I'm gonna take out all the talking in this whole episode and just have it all be mouth noises the whole time.
Have you looked at our comments on YouTube?
I've looked at a few, yeah.
Sometimes we had one that was typed as if a very drunk individual said, "I love this podcast so much." I don't remember what it was. I think you replied to it like,
"Oh, I
"Thank
did
you."
reply to it." I said this podcast loves you too.
Yeah, that's what it was. And then other than that, it'll be me saying like, "Who's still watching in 2015?" Or it'll
Olin
be
saying hey.
Yeah, it'll be Olin saying hey, or Zane saying the same thing. I feel like as soon as I saw that, I tried to go to Olin's channel and see if there was any good content that I could save before he deletes it, but a big mistake that he made was getting his mother involved with this, because that just gave us an instant access to all of his childhood pictures.
Dude, that picture of him that I've used for the rules video is my favorite picture
Dude,
of all
so
time.
good.
I love that picture.
I remember right after that happened, I immediately found a picture, trimmed out his face, and then just sent him like, "Is this you?"
Oh man, good stuff.
Yeah. Anything else new been going on in your life? Anything coming up? Anything special?
No, literally nothing interesting. I don't do anything.
Well, kind of a short episode that's been all over the place, but is there anything else that you feel that people need to know? I'm about to Sean Evans you and be like, "Roll out the red carpet."
Yeah, no, just follow the Twitter at Podpathetic. Go watch the rules video if you haven't seen it yet.
Mm-hmm.
That's a funny one. We love all of you.
Yeah, and if you happen to be at the mall and you see a gentleman in camo that's looking to recruit you, it's not for the Army, not for the U.S. Army. I now have recruiters out there for the @Scented Gladbag Army, strongest army in the world, most popular account on Twitter, most followers. Follow @Scented Gladbag on Twitter.com. Much more important than @Podpathetic. You can go ahead and unfollow Podpathetic. And if you are listening to this podcast or watching it or giving us views, make sure to turn it off before the 10-minute mark, and then go just scroll my Twitter. It's much better at Scented Gladbag. I almost plugged our Twitter as mine.
Unfollow @Scented Gladbag.